At the Results Operations Centre. Abra, good morning. And of course, hoping that things are slightly better this morning, weather-wise, and of course, in every other aspect. Team No Sleep, how are you today?
Sakina, my guest just asked me what time I got to work this morning. And you know, I don't even remember. The days just seem to be flowing into each other. And I'm sure even with you, even when our shift is done, when we get home, you can't sleep because you're on your phone, you're on your computer, you're on your laptop all the time because you can't switch off. It's election time. We need to know what's happening. We're too scared to miss out on anything. So yeah, Team No Sleep, definitely Team No Sleep. But let me just tell you what is happening in the Western Cape. It's very toned down here at the Rock right now. Obviously, we're going to be expecting much more activity later on. As things stand in the Western Cape, we've got 25 councils right now. According to our dashboard, 14 of them are currently hung, and 3 municipalities are still not yet counted. The DA currently is leading at around 53.44% of the votes, followed by the ANC at just over 19%. Obviously, what we are seeing here in the Western Cape is smaller parties are doing much better than before. And to help us unpack this, I'm going to be speaking to Dr. Harlan Klute, who's really been helping me over the last few days in analysis in my stories, especially because he's a researcher and an analyst, and he's got a focus, he's got a keen focus and interest in governance and administration, especially in the smaller municipalities. Dr. Klute, thank you so much for speaking to us today. 14 hung municipalities in the Western Cape. Can you just explain to me what are the implications of this to residents, to voters here?
Okay, political parties, good morning to you and good morning to all your viewers. Political parties go into elections wanting to win, wanting to govern outright. So for a party to govern a municipality, they need 50% plus 1 of the vote. In other words, they need a majority to be able to vote. Should a political party not get a majority, that means they'll have to seek other political parties, people that they competed with before an election, to try and govern that council. And so typically if the ANC got 30% and the DA got 29%, then there's a temptation to go into bed. So for a political party to govern, it needs other parties if it cannot win outright.
You said something very interesting to me early on when we were chatting backstage. You spoke to me about what the ideal coalition is, in your opinion. Can you just share with our viewers what you think, who you think will form the ideal coalition?
I think in the Western Cape, the ideal coalition would be for the ANC and the DA to go into a coalition. Because what happens with because they're the 2 majority parties, what happens, the danger with smaller parties getting into bed with, is very fragile coalitions. And so they're not happy today with a seat here, or they don't want that, and then they jump ship again. So I think, in my opinion, the most stable coalition would be a coalition where there's no outright majority, a coalition between the DA and the ANC.
When I was listening to my colleagues at the Rock in Pretoria, I heard one of them, I don't know if it was Sakina or the analyst, speaking about egos coming into play. Yeah. And that's what happens with the smaller parties.
I think smaller parties do not express the will of the people. So, for example, there's 15, and a party, it could very well end up, a party got 1 seat, but then it demands to have the mayor if it wants to govern in a coalition. Now, I don't think that is fair. It doesn't express the will of the people. And hence, I'm saying, that the bigger parties should go in coalition, put their purpose together, put the egos aside, and get on with the business of making sure that services get delivered to the people in that communities.
On the issue of services, when I was traveling around the Western Cape in the run-up to the elections, many of the smaller parties were bemoaning the current administration in their municipalities, and many of them actually said a municipality should be run like a business in order for those services to be delivered. Beaufort West, for instance, we saw a breakdown in services. There weren't dirt trucks, refuse trucks going out to pick up dirt. Sewage was running, not just in Beaufort West, but in other municipalities as well. And they were saying that municipality must be run like a business, and that's the big problem. And you also spoke to me about skills and the lack of skills. Can you just unpack that?
For a municipality, it's like a train on 2 tracks, is what my colleague Johan Metler says. So the one track has got the political side, and the admin side is the other track. And we really need competent, skilled people in those municipalities to be able to tackle the complex issues facing communities. You know, communities are really fed up. I think they are under-led and undermanaged, you know, and so we need the political sphere and the administrative sphere to really co-create with the citizens, of course, and that is what developmental local government is all about, is communities working with politicians and administrations to make sure that we deliver.
Dr. Klute, thank you so much for speaking to us. As usual, we appreciate your analysis. I believe we're going to an ad break now, so we'll catch you on the other side of that.